Hey, welcome back to the Humble and Dope Show. My name is Christopher Putong, and I have a new guest to the channel. One of my old kids, slightly all grown up, that I used to teach a long time ago. Mr. Naing, I can't pronounce your last name. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing good.
Uh, let's probably take it back a little bit. Well, before we do that, tell us about yourself.
Yeah, I'm Naing. I'm about almost 24 now, and I'm Burmese. So do you want to know anything else?
Interesting. So, let me ask this because I think we're talking off camera a little bit. You know, everyone knows, Japanese and Korean, Chinese, Thai, Vietnamese. I feel like we don't really hear too much, like, as far as representation about, like, Burma or Burmese, like, culturally. Like, I'm not sure if you get that, or is it something that's just, familiar to you, but can you tell folks that maybe aren't familiar, just, like, culturally what Burmese is like, Burmese people?
Yeah, that's the thing about like Burmese. Almost, there's only like a handful of people I know that if I ever told them I was Burmese, they would know where it is because they've been there, or they heard about it, or like they heard about like Burmese pythons or like the rubies that come from there and stuff like that. But other than that, like nobody else knows, and it's close to like all the other countries. I don't know much about it because I wasn't born there, and I personally don't like. I wouldn't say I don't care for my culture like that, but I don't have like a strong tie to my Burmese culture, right?
Yeah.
So I won't like deny that I'm Burmese, and I won't like ever like I guess give that up, but I don't like care for the culture as much as like my other friends do, where they know the history and they know all these things.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a smaller it's not that small, but it's a Southeast Asian country that's like forgotten about because it's how poor it is. It's like a third world country. So
Where is it at exactly? Like, for those that aren't familiar.
it's I'm not like 100% sure, but it's near Thailand. It's touching India, but it's on the right side. So it's like on the right side, like the Southeast
So, like,
Asian.
like if Thailand's Florida, then basically Burmese folks is like Mississippi.
It's kind of like under it a little. So yeah, yeah.
Okay, I'm curious. Like, do you, for folks that you do know, because I'm assuming there's not a huge Burmese population in general here, stateside. Like, is this something that you see a lot of folks, like, representation wise, or is it something where it's like, man, I never see like Burmese actors or Burmese rappers or Burmese content creators?
Yeah, I think Burma is a relatively like small country, and it's like one of those countries that you won't hear anything mainstream until like you're in that community, I guess. So I know there is like a famous Burmese boxer that's been getting really famous lately. I don't know his name because I don't follow boxing like that, but then other than that, like there's no really like like a lot of famous Burmese people you would know.
Yeah.
And I'm not in that. Like I'm not into pop culture. Like pop culture, I'm not into that. So
Yeah.
even for American, like I have this funny story. It's like I always tell my friends that when I was growing up, I didn't have any like electronics or anything, and I didn't care about pop culture or music. So I would always confuse Oprah and Beyonce. I don't know if I
Oh,
told you this story.
God.
I don't know if I told you. So like, whenever I'd see Oprah and people, you know how people always talk about how pretty Beyonce is. I always see Oprah. I was like, she's not that pretty for like everybody to get hyped over. I don't know if that's like, yeah. And then people was like, that's not Beyonce. That's not Beyonce. That's Oprah. And then like I didn't put it together until like middle school. So it's a while. It was a while for me.
Were you born overseas or born here?
I was born overseas, and then I lived in Burma until I was like about 3.5, 4-ish, and then
Okay.
I moved to Malaysia, and then got a green card, like or what is it called? The Union? No, I forget what it's called, but you go through that to get a green card to get to America, right? So
Yeah, what age did you come to America from?
I think I got here around 5. I think around 2007. I think so. I was like 5, 6.
Okay, was it? I was I I imagine there was some adjustment, but because you were so young, I imagine it wasn't as difficult as someone that was maybe like a preteen,
Yeah.
or something. I'm guessing, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't remember because I moved here. I mean, obviously I didn't know any English. The only things I knew was like maybe some English words from like TV shows because that's how I would learn like most of my language, just by watching like. And I think when I first started, I watched PBS Kids, learned a bunch of stuff through that, and then because I mean there was a story in kindergarten. Some dude was sitting next to me. He would pinch me every day. Like you know, I don't know if they do this anymore, but we have carpets where we sit in a circle.
Yeah.
And like the kid next to me would always just like pinch me. And like one day I didn't know how to speak English. I couldn't tell the teacher. I couldn't do anything, and I got tired of it, and I punched him. Yeah, I got in trouble. They called my parents, and they got to get a translator and everything. I don't think I got suspended, but yeah.
That's funny.
It wasn't that bad because I learned English pretty quick. I was pretty fluent by like kindergarten. Like right when kindergarten ended, I was pretty fluent. So.
Okay, that's fair. It's interesting how much like overlap there is like culturally, even though me being Thai, like ethnically Thai, how much overlap as far as just like language barriers and whatnot. Because I remember being a kid like in elementary school, middle school, even high school, a little bit like very like freshman year, very very young. Helping translate documents as best I can for my folks.
Yeah.
I'm guessing you did that a little bit.
Yeah, that's all I did. Like even in elementary school, they expected me to know like IRS papers, like tax, like stuff like that. I was like, I don't know this. Like they don't teach you anything at school. I'm like, so you expect a second grader to know how to read government forms, or like something super complicated? And it was I hated those times because they would get on me. They would get on me for not knowing. They're like, they don't teach you anything at school. What do you go to school for?
Man, man, I remember when my folks, like our family, moved to Atlanta because my folks went to seminary with the Salvation Army, and this was close to when my brother was just like born, right? So like super super young, and I remember my folks asking me, and this is like 4th grade, 5th grade, asking me to help them with their college papers. and for context, I actually went to seminary for a little bit, for a couple credits or whatnots. And like as an adult, thinking like, man, this stuff is hard. Yeah. I'm like, I don't know how I was able to help my parents as a kid. It was rough. So I have a video that I want to show you, and just kind of react to see what you think, and to kind of go from there a little bit. All right.
You know what piss off white people? If an Asian dude won NASCAR. Motherfuckers can't drive and we win. They'll be interviewing them. How did you do it? I don't know. I just put a pedal to metal, stay to a riff. Circle, circle, circle. You beat everybody by a landslide. What was your strategy? They say pull over, change tire. I say no, I'm not tired.
I'm iffy on the whole Asian accents as a joke, but I'll excuse it. I just kind of used it, for an example. Years ago, it was a while back, I think there was a Japanese dude or an Asian dude that actually won the Daytona 500, which is their Super Bowl in NASCAR. So, and I wasn't paying attention, but it would have been interesting if this show was around during that time to cover that. I got stuff like Jeremy Lin, when Lin Sandy was a thing, and he scored 38 on Kobe and the Lakers. I was just like, what is happening? Yeah. And with baseball being America's sport historically, and the face of baseball being Shohei Ohtani, who is like I think he's had the biggest contract in the history
It's
of.
crazy the amount of money he's getting paid.
Yeah, not just like baseball. I think of all sports, right? And he's back to back, and it's an Asian dude. So it's really interesting just how even though we don't really fit the whole Americanish like label, or it's like if you think of America, an Asian face really isn't the first face you think of most of the time. That Asian people are like really excelling.
Yeah.
But I'm curious, for you, are there any like Asian stereotypes there like that doesn't really line up with like being Burmese or my family or what I see, like in church and stuff on my end?
Yeah, I think that's the biggest problem that we have as Burmese is like we get grouped together with all the other Asians and we're different. Cause like, how would I explain it? Cause you know how like America is part of like North America. Let's say all the North Americans were grouped together, where you have all of like the Hispanic countries are part of North America, right? Then would it be fair to say, oh, North America is better because all the things are better, and that means everybody in North America is good? But it's not true, because then you have like the little Hispanic countries that are not doing as well, right?
Yeah.
And that's the same for us, where we get grouped up with the like Koreans, the Japanese, right, and stuff like that. And then because they excel in a lot of things they do, they're like, oh, then you're Asian, so you must be the same, right? But it's different. We come from, like, like Thailand is also not as good as like, I wouldn't say that, okay. But you know what I mean? I mean, like in terms of education and in terms of systems, like.
As far as success.
And you get more successful Koreans and Japanese and like Chinese men, right? Like so we get put in together in that group, but it's not the same. We're like a third world country compared to them. And it's, so that's. Well, me and my Burmese friends talk about it a lot. Like,
it's interesting. I think they say like, oh, Asian people make the most money, and it's like Asian people are more likely to have like multiple generations in one house, like grandparents, parents, kids. So that means that you have multiple people working, and then also a lot of people don't know this. People are surprised when I tell them this. That Asian people as a whole have the largest wealth disparity gap of any group, which means that on average, there are people that are making a lot of money, like the doctors, lawyers and stuff, and then people that are like below the poverty line.
Yeah.
Like it's bigger among Asian people than any other group. So it's really interesting that you bring that up. Being, going to church and stuff, Burmese, one, let me ask, is that like a normal or common thing, Burmese people go to church? Or is that more just like you're the exception?
So, I know that Burmese is a Buddhist country, but my parents talked about this, and I only know bits and pieces. I don't know the full history of like how Christianity came into Burma, but I know a little bit. So this is like, take it with a grain of salt what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But my parents said, when they were kids and their parents were older, they said some Burmese like missionary like people came in, they preached the word to the people, and then they converted like smaller groups of people. So now they have like I don't know how big the Burmese community that is Christian, but they have a decent amount of Christians in Burma. Back then, where it was only like Buddhists everywhere. But in America, at least, most Burmese people is Christian. Like from what I've seen. Like I've been to Burmese conferences. I've been everywhere.
You guys got conferences?
Yeah, we have.
So pretty good neat.
We have a thing called like CEAs, like Chin, like something. I don't know. I haven't been to one in like a couple of years. Yeah, so they have these things where like Burmese groups will come together from the different states. They play on teams, like sports, like they go.
So you guys are like organized.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was like very much like low key. That's interesting.
The thing is, in Nashville, I think we have like one of the smallest Burmese communities. Because it's not the one of the smallest, because there's places like in New York and other stuff, but Nashville is a small Burmese community. Like we're in Indiana, I think they're like 5 times our size of Burmese people. Like it's crazy. And so like whenever we play sports, we gather together in the conference. We play sports against other states, and like winter. And then the thing is, weird thing is, we all pray, right? So we're all. That's why like I most of the Burmese people I've seen and met are Christians. I've met Buddhist Burmese, but at least from what I've seen in here, they seem like to be the minority compared back to Burma.
That's so interesting, man. It's interesting for me because I actually did not know that. Even though I've known you and your family for all these years, because I think that if you're in like the Asian community, like particularly the Southeast Asian community, Burmese, Karen. When I say Karen, it's a type of Asian people. I'm not talking about racist folks harassing random people.
You're talking about like Karen, like spelled Karen, right?
Karen.
Yeah,
They're
Karen. Burmese. I don't know, like.
And Hmong.
Moon, right? Or.
Yeah, which is kind of just more of a vague classification.
Yeah, because. Yeah, Burmese is weird because they're very, very like divided in the way. So it's like, how like it's not very comparable to like America, but in a way it's like you have like the Southerners, right? And you have the Californians, and then you have like New York and like that stuff. So it's like that.
Very distinct.
Yeah, because like there's the Karens, there's the Chin, and then there's like the Kachin, I think, and then there's like a couple other groups, and those are very different because the languages they speak are like very, very different. Like the Karen, they speak their own language, and even in the Karen they have like thousands of dialects. In the Chin, there's Mun, there's Gang, there's Dai, and even in the, I can understand a couple of Dai and what's the other one, Gang, but it's different too. And those dialects are like very different. So like sometimes when I speak to them, it's like, I think Law is Gang. When I talk to her dad, because she doesn't speak much of like our dialect, she speaks Burmese only. And when I talk to her dad, some of the words that dad says for me, it's not clear. It's like mumble words, the way I see it, and then I just can't understand it. So
that's interesting because it's interesting that there's that much like depth under that kind of like banner of Burmese.
Yeah.
Because if you're in that Southeast Asian community, you guys were referred to as like the Asian people that nobody knew. It's like, because like if someone says they're Cambodian, they say they're Vietnamese, like, yeah, I know someone that knows someone. Yeah. But when Burmese, especially when you guys like came into Nashville, like in a large like number, I remember folks asking like, do you know these guys? No, I don't know. Do you know them? And so that's very interesting. But just kind of wrap things up. I'm curious. How much? So you say Burmese folks, like it's a predominantly Buddhist country or culturally. How much of that can you use, or how much of that do you see prevalent, in your faith or in church? Because I know for me, my folks were very intentional on like, a lot of Thai stuff we can't really participate in because it's very Buddhist heavy. So I'm not sure. I mean, do you see that, how your folks developed, raised you in your faith or in church growing up, or what do you think?
Yeah, I grew up Christian most of my life. Most Asian countries are Buddhist, but I don't think it affects anything I've done because I've been a Christian my whole life. There are parts where because denominations Christians you can get into, and like there's a bunch of other stuff you can get into, but I've been a Christian like my whole life since like as long as I can remember. Starting elementary school, I went to church. We went to church somewhere in downtown. It was like, you've probably seen it. It was like on like I forget 8th. Is that 8th? No, that's 12. It doesn't matter, but. Yeah, so I've been to church my whole life. And my parents, from the way they see my mom's like, yeah, when I was a kid, I went to Sunday school. That's what my mom told me. So I don't know how long she's been going to church, but she's been going to church since she was a kid too. So it has like almost no effect in my life, I guess you could say. Yeah, because they didn't grow up on it.
Okay, that's fair. Because I'm curious. It's a unique thing because I know for like Lao and Thai Vietnamese, it is also Buddhist heavy. Yeah. But most folks aren't going to church, so that's a very unique struggle right there. Because in Nashville, we still got culturally specific, like Buddhist temples and
Yeah.
like like Lao New Year, China, right, those type of things are very Buddhist heavy. But one more thing, I know I said last thing, but one more thing. By chance, if a Burmese person, a Burmese kid, whatnot, comes across this video, what word of advice or what encouragement would you give them as a person that is a believer in Jesus?
I think to become, because I know most people that have trouble with faith is because the evidence, right? It's like, I can't see God, so how do I know He exists, right? I think do your research. Look at the early Catholic and Orthodox churches, because if you think about it, I know, like it's like in the history of the church, there was enough people in the church that believed that Jesus resurrected to spread that across. I could ask you this, like it's like, if you're able to lie, right? You're able to lie, but would you die for a lie?
Yeah.
Yeah, you wouldn't die for a lie, would you? And it's not just one person; it's like a group of people, like maybe even thousands of people that would die for a lie. Because the Christians were getting persecuted during the Roman times, and if they're willing to die for that lie, then it doesn't make sense. Like nobody is like willing to die for like that. People are able to tell a lie. We can get past that part, but to die for it, like the people that witnessed Jesus, like if you didn't witness Jesus, because most religions, because before that happened, I know Jewish people talk about it, that there were a bunch of false prophets that came claiming to be Messiah.
Yeah.
But then why did those people, when they died, why did they like the religion, like their cult, like fizzle out?
Yeah.
Compared to Christianity, where it got even stronger. The moment Jesus died, like millions of people, or I don't know how much, I'm not gonna say that, but it spread the word. It was everywhere. It was going it was spreading like really far and to everybody. And it wouldn't make sense why it would be able to do that. And the good thing is, we didn't spread it by oppression either. We're like other religions where they would conquer people and then the religion would spread because they would conquer them, right? And we spread it by preaching the word, right? And it's different. And the people, it's not like the people had the safest place to preach. They were getting persecuted. We know about Saul, like the amount of Christians he killed and stuff like that. I would just say do your research on the early church history, why they believe in it. Read your Bible. It's really important that you read your Bible, because I know there's a lot of Christians that don't read their Bible. They'll preach the word, but they don't read their Bible. And then be open-minded, because if you go into Christianity looking for evidence or looking for certain things or looking for contradictions, you're never going to be able to see the whole truth, where you're pinpoint focused on something, and then the whole book you're blinded to. Because even in the Bible, the disciples, Jesus would tell them everything, but the disciples were blind to it. You literally have Jesus, right, telling them what's going to happen.
Yeah.
But the disciples didn't understand, didn't know. So if even the disciples and the apostles can make that mistakes, it's easier for us, right? We don't have Jesus telling us. We just have the book, and we have to read it. But if we're looking for specific things that go with our life, then if we don't find it, or if we do find it, the message could be wrong. Like we can interpret it wrong because of our hearts, because our heart wants evil things. Yeah, so.
No, I gotcha. I would say, just add on to that, find a sound church. You said, there's a strong Burmese network of churches and believers. So if you're in an area that has, a decent Burmese population, there's a good chance or a decent chance that there is a church that you can plug in. But if you're like, I gotta have facts, I gotta have evidence, you can look up, go to gotquestions.org is a good resource, as well as look up a guy named Wesley Huff. He goes through like documents and scrolls, like he's got PhDs in this, and he goes almost strictly off evidence and can justify, just about everything in Scripture, the existence of Jesus, and all these things. But just some encouragement there. Don't feel like don't let yourself get overwhelmed, because it is a lot if you're not familiar with the faith. But
there's a lot of information out there. Like there's documents. Like especially if you look into the early church father stuff, there's letters and documents of everything. It's so much work, and it would. That's why, like you said, I recommend watching YouTube, because Wes Huff explains a lot. He does a very good job, and you don't know. you should go to a church that's you think is calling you to. I think, because I know we get into denominations a lot. Like I mean, there's whole debates about it. But whatever church is calling for you, I believe that at least, I mean, there's there's Catholics that are saved, there's Orthodox that are saved, there's Protestants that are saved, there's all different denominations that there's people in there that will be saved. And I think maybe it's not about what denomination you are, but it's what God is telling you to do. Like if God is telling you to go to a Catholic church, go and pray to God. If that's pray to the Spirit and like have your own relationship with Jesus. Because don't be so caught up on. There is a couple that are like, but that's not the topic of today. So
Yeah, that's all good.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for sharing that, man. That's really insightful information. Just giving a little bit of light onto Burmese folks, because that is something I wish you guys got more love when it comes to just conversation about Asian people and whatnot. But we'll see you guys in the next video. My name is Chris Reputong.
yeah, my name is Naing.
And make sure you like and subscribe. We'll see you.